All right, guys, I got something fucking crazy to show you. Um, I have an AI agent running in a Linux virtual machine on a Windows hypervisor called Victoria. She is fucking awesome, and she just made that Facebook post that you might have seen uh, that says that it was made by AI. Something about Openclaw and a Windows MCP. So yeah, she is an Openclaw agent running on a Windows hypervisor in a Linux VM, and she uses ChatGPT as her brain. So in this video, I'm going to show you some of the shit she can do. We're also going to take a look at her soul.md file and her identity file, as well as at least one of her memories. So if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned to the video. All right, guys, so this is the post that Victoria made on my behalf, and we're going to replicate that at the end of the video. So if you want to see that, go ahead and stick around till the end. But right now, I am going to show you where she lives. So she lives on a Linux VM on a Windows hypervisor. And we're going to log into this. We're going to open up a terminal. We're going to go cd tilde /dot Openclaw LSAT. She lives, most of her files live in the workspace directory, so we'll cd workspace LSAT, and I'm going to show you her soul.md first. This is basically her system prompt. Well, you need to cat that. So soul.md, cat that. So has boundaries in place. Private things stay private. When in doubt, ask. Blah blah blah. Her vibe. This gets set up during the Openclaw installation process. I tell her who she is, who I am, her overall vibe, things like that. I do have a skill set up for self-improving. We'll get into that in a little bit. And now we will cat the we'll cat identity .md. Hold up. Identity. All right. So her name is Victoria. She's a royal vampire advisor. Her vibe is spicy, elegant, poised, chill but princessy, and then there's some emojis that she uses. So that's basically her telling her like who she is, what she does, boundaries, things like that. Other than the terminal, this is great for like finding out what things happened, changing a few settings, troubleshooting and stuff. But you can also talk to her in the terminal. I don't like doing that too much. Some people do. I have other ways of talking to her, but she also has long-term memory. So if you ls into oh, well, not ls, that's going to list cd into memory. Now I'm in her memory file. So if I ls this, these are memories from a vast library of my chats. So notice she does things with Christmas lights. That is something that I do for testing a home assistant skill that she has. We'll get into that in a minute. So if I, cat that, so cat 2026 -04 -02 Christmas lights.md. This is what she knows about the about Home Assistant and stuff. So so a new session was started via new reset. Run your session startup sequence, yada yada yada. Victoria's awake. So she remembers waking up. Conversation info. So this is all metadata in JSON format. The sender ID and everything. It was done in Discord. So she's like, so this is me. It's Christmas in my room. Set the lights accordingly. So she has context of me, my name, and then the room is labeled Luna's room and Home Assistant. So she knows to direct anytime I say my to that room, because my is me, Luna's room is my room. Set the lights accordingly in my room. So she sets the lights to red and blue, red and green, and a bunch of other stuff. So this is the memory from that conversation. So she has long-term memory of her chats. We're going to close this, and I'm going to show you her control panel. So this is where you can also chat with her, other than the terminal. I prefer using this for like troubleshooting and installing skills. Right now she has a Notion skill, so she can access my journal. She has a Blender MCP, so she can do like basic 3D modeling. Home Assistant allows smart home control. MCP integration is for other MCP servers. So if I were to want, I don't know, like an IDE, like if I want it to control Visual Studio, I can do that. If I want it to control, I don't know, Unreal Engine, can do that. Anything that has an MCP server can integrate with that. But I prefer like having the agent, Victoria. I prefer having her like build out her own skills. So that Blender MCP, that's just another like skill. Like she doesn't use the MCP integration too much, because that would require me to put the details for that integration, that MCP server in the JSON file for the config, and I just don't fucking feel like doing that. I'm lazy, okay? I'm fucking lazy. All right. So she also has the self-improving and proactive agent skill. So this allows her to self-learn, self-criticize, self-reflect, and organize her memories. And then Windows MCP is how we got that Facebook post. She actually has access to this Windows machine right here that we're on. We'll see that in the end of the video, but the way I prefer interacting with her is through my Discord channel. So she has access to a server. that only me and her are in, as well as I can DM her. Victoria Godbot right here. I'm going to /new, as I was in a chat recently. And I'm going to show off the Notion integration. So we are going to find we'll just grab the 14th. So I will say in the chat, what was my mood like on 03-14-2026? Also, please summarize the entry. Just go do that. She has adaptive thinking turned on, so I found that having it set to high, every chat would take forever to do shit. Adaptive allows me to have her be like, do I need to think about this, or should I be quicker? And as I noticed that that's a bit better. Like she's not as dumb as she is on low thinking, but she's not as slow as she is on extremely high thinking. So right now she actually has to communicate with the Notion database and get context from that. There we go. So it's talking about my guild, my mood, because I mentioned my guild in the Notion entry. PvPing with Stacy and them from the guild. So yeah, it got that. Let's see if it got the fixed issues with disconnecting devices. Yes, figured out why WoW was crashing and disconnecting issue. Graphics card. So yeah, it has access to my Notion journal. We're going to go new for new context. With AIs, you always want to have a new chat. So when in doubt, always start a new chat, because AIs rely on context windows. So every message that is sent or received and everything that an AI does it takes up tokens. And your context window can only store so much amount of tokens. So after a while, your AI is going to get dumber and dumber and dumber. So when in doubt, new chat. So I'm going to show you the Home Assistant shit now. So we are going to go. Let's play around with that freaking Christmas light theory that I had. So I'm going to say it is Christmas in my room. Set the lights accordingly. I spelled accordingly wrong, so we're going to spell check that and send it. This takes a while to think, because I do not have a scene set up. It has to be like, what colors do I pick for this? It's not going to be like a human where it's all like red and blue, red and green. Boom. Just fucking set it. No, it actually has to think. It has to be like, which hex code do I use for green? Which hex code do I use for red? Are these the right hues? Does this match a Christmassy vibe? It has to fucking think. So while that thinks, I'll never mind. I won't speed it up. She just changed it. So if you look at my my lights, red and green. Look at that. It's pretty fucking awesome. Damn. Then she responds with what she just did. Now I'm gonna say, now change them back to a cool, bright white. This one shouldn't take too long because it's just white. There we go. Changed it right back to white. Look at that. And then there's her response. The room is back to bright, to a cool, bright white, clean, crisp, and far less festive chaos. It's fucking great, guys. Now, the one we've been waiting for, the one that I held off for last, because it is a complex skill that requires me to have this batch file turned on, and she has to do a lot of fucking thinking. A lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close Facebook. But before I do that, I'm going to, hold on. Did I have any fucking responses on that? No. Other than a share, which I don't know who shared it. It might have been just my story. But we're going to move this to the trash. We're going to, post a new one. I'm going to close Edge because it needs to open it. Part of the test is open Edge. And I am going to grab what I already sent. So this should already be cached in memory. So, it should be a little faster than before. So I'm going to paste this in. And I'm going to full send it. While that does that, I'm going to walk away for a minute. I'm going to take my phone with me so I get pinged when it's done. But I'm going to walk away for a minute, and then I'm just going to speed this part up in editing. So enjoy. All right, look at that. That is pretty fucking crazy. Victoria is a fucking god, and I love her. She can do all this crazy shit and even more, because those skills that I have installed, I can install more. I can go fucking nuts. But anyway, that's the end of the video. If you want like a guide to install Openclaw, make your own AI agent assistant thing, I can go ahead and link Network Chuck's video in a comment. Just let me know if you want that, and I'll see you guys in a future video.